back to Coach Keeler, 4 questions, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so Coach, opening statement, please.
Yeah, we're worn out now. I mean, you would think our conditioning thing would have really held up for us, but I think having 3 days where our kids were just sitting around in their dorm rooms was really hard on us. And if we played clean, against the 7th-ranked team in the country, I think we would have, probably had that game over in the 3rd quarter. But we didn't play clean. And the thing that we knew about Richmond was they were going to battle. That's the kind of kids they have. They're just going to battle. And so it did not surprise us that they kept on battling. There's a new rule where at halftime the clock hits 20 minutes and runs down immediately after the clock. And we're a 3-minute hike to our locker room and a 3-minute hike back. Our kids were exhausted that's 6 minutes. You lose 6 minutes off your halftime the way they've changed the rules now. So we were in there just screaming about, hey, hydrate and we're going to be running back out here. So we had lots of stuff going on for a first game. And you could see it was a first game. And it's tough when you play a good opponent like that on your first game. But, we beat the number 7-ranked team in the country, and we weren't very satisfied with the win. So I think we need to maybe double-check how we look at things. But all in all, you take a step back and traveling up here and spending 3 days up here, and the hospitality we got, it was a great experience for our kids. It really bonded them together. And down the road, we're hoping that this win, when people start talking about strength of schedule, will help us. So.
Take Coach down for a second. You get Jeremiah up here to take questions for him. We'll come back to Coach after we get Jeremiah and Josh. So we'll get back to walk. All right. Just questions for Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, talk about, you guys passing offense. It looked like you guys were in mid-season form for the most part, 4 touchdown passes. And the receivers did a pretty good job against a defense that you guys thought would be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we played decently offensively. We had so many MAs. We had on one play we had 1 MA all last year doing one thing. We had 4 on that play tonight. So I mean, that's something we got to clean up, and I think it just comes from fatigue and those days off and lack of focus. But I mean, like Coach Keeler said, we could have put that game away way earlier, and it kind of leaves a bad taste in our mouth that we didn't. But we have the best receiving core in the country. I'll say it again. I mean, they make unbelievable plays, unbelievable catches. So that's all on them. But we need to continue fine-tuning everything, and we're 1-0.
Jeremiah, that touchdown run, you seem just you were looking.
Yeah, that's a joke's come.
Keeler said last year that you weren't a great athlete. Do you have anything to say to him right now?
Watch the tape. Eye in the sky doesn't lie. Eye in the sky doesn't lie.
You mentioned in media today how you reshaped your body. Was running to be more part of your game now, or is that just kind of an aberration?
I wouldn't say it's going to be more a part of my game, but it's something I'll do what I can get whenever it's there. It's not going to be something that's a pivotal part of our offense, but I mean, from mid-season last year, I'm 15 pounds lighter than I was, so I think that definitely helps conditioning-wise and running. And that was one thing that Coach Williams and our strength coach wanted to focus on this offseason, was being more explosive, leaning up and everything, just because that put me in the best position to help our team. And, I mean, that's just kind of something that happens, that run. It's not something that we're going to try and do.
All right, in the middle of the 3rd quarter, y'all were just humming along, and then something kind of stalled the offense. What do you think that was? Yeah,
it was those MAs. We had 3 on 3rd downs back to back to back on drives that are drive killers, and we should have put that game away 2 drives after halftime. I mean, get 2 stops and go up by another 2 scores. I mean, it's a totally different game. So that's something we need to work on, is finishing and putting people away. That's something that we didn't get a whole lot of early last year. So I think it's good that we got it this year, where we have to be kind of in a nail biter and learn how to put people away. So I think all in all is good for us.
One more question? Good.
Thanks.
Josh up here. Josh Price, safety. And questions for Josh.
Josh, sorry.
You're good.
Josh talked about playing in your first game at Sam Houston and getting 2 red zone interceptions in a
I mean, that's just all coaching, just paying attention to the fundamentals, knowing what I'm supposed to do on the play, and just really just keying in on what I'm supposed to do, and that's all I can really say about that one. It was just good coaching. Good coaching put me in that position.
Just talk a little bit about your guys' defensive strategy and took some shots over the top early, and then they kind of just started to play the short game against you guys. Was that kind of a goal of yours?
Well, our defensive strategy, I think it was good going into the game. We just had a lot of MAs. We just had a lot of plays where we weren't focused on what we were supposed to do, not paying attention to the situation. So I think we get those things cleaned up and knowing the down and distance and what kind of situation there, I think we'll be much better than we was tonight.
How much did fatigue play a factor there in the late third quarter going into the fourth?
I think, well, yeah, fatigue definitely set place, but I mean, we just got to fight through it. We just got to find that second gear and just keep playing. I mean, I kept cramping, and I was partly fatigued because of the cramp, but you just got to keep playing and just finish the game.
And walk us through that second interception you had that really sealed the game for you. It looked like you just read the quarterback side.
Yeah, because actually I was supposed to take the running back, but I seen the quarterback and I seen he wasn't even looking at him, so I just kind of just ratted and I just stayed there, and I was just in the right place at the right time.
Anything else, guys? Good? Josh, appreciate it. Hey, Coach Felix, back up here, just a question.
You know, to play off what the kids said, you know, the biggest improvement you have is between, you know, week 1 and week 2. And I'm excited, you know, where this team can go from week 1 to week 2. We had just way too many MAs. Even his first interception, you know, trying to bring the ball out. I mean, you don't do that. You take a knee. I mean, you're taught that. You know, we teach it every day in that situation. Sometimes you have to live through a real game and that experience to improve from that experience. My old coach, Tubby Raymond, said, you can't simulate a football game. It's impossible. And, you know, that was a real game out there. And you could see the number of mistakes we made. And we felt we were pretty clean going into the game. But, you know, fatigue, boy, it makes cowards of us all. And I think fatigue really hit us. And, again, I really think it was, you know, sitting around for 3 days and not being able to do a thing. But, you know, we have a short week coming up. And it's really important for us to, you know, make some corrections and improvements and clean up so we can make that big jump from week 1 to week 2, because this can be a really, really good football team. It really can be. So.
You already mentioned the hike to the locker rooms and back playing at Baylor. What else did you guys experience?
You know what? First of all, I tell you, these people were amazing. I mean, Matt Rule shows up at practice and is like, should I bring my filmers over to film practice for you? Now we brought our own filmers. Do you need meeting space? Well, we took care of that at the hotel. And by the way, we're using your team hotel that you guys are going to go in a little bit later so we can stay, you know, Friday till we, you know, leave after pregame meal. So the whole experience here, we have an alum up here, Sammy. I won't be able to say Sammy's name properly, but he owns George's. Wow. We took the kids there Wednesday night. I told the kids in the locker room, I said, this last 3 days of us bonding together, I think it's going to take us a long way. Now, we have some things to improve on in terms of this football team and assignments and those kind of things. But when we play clean, I think we're really tough to beat. I think you'll see us get better as time goes on, too. You know, P.J. Hall didn't play. I mean, P.J. Hall will make a huge difference, you know. And what happened with P.J., so we all get the same story, is before we got to Sam Houston, P.J. only passed 6 credits his first fall semester. If that happens, you have to pass 27. So he passed 27, was eligible, never failed a class in his entire time at Sam with me as the coach. Was having all A's and B's last fall, and, you know, had some personal stuff go on and had a bad semester, and all of a sudden was in that situation where he only passed 7 credits. So not passing 9, that put him in a situation where he even though he's going to graduate in 4.5 years, with a very good GPA, it put him in a situation that he has a mandatory 2-game suspension. So getting him back, we were a little thin on the defensive line. Getting him back inside will make a huge difference because he easily has been the most dominant player in training camp this whole training camp. Playing him as an inside nose or 3 technique is his best position. But he also can bump outside and play end for us. So we're excited that our defense can get better with adding PJ. So.
Yeah, Coach, play calling in the second half seemed to be a little different from the first half. What factored into that?
Well, I think Jeremiah hit the nail on the head. I mean, we made some real critical mistakes. Routes where the wide receivers are supposed to fall out and look for the back shoulder, they weren't falling out and looking for the back shoulder. And those are plays that we kill people on. And, they were fatigued. They weren't getting the sign properly. So I think it wasn't the play calling as much as the execution of the play calling. There was a time that I told Tim, hey, I want to slow things down. Let's try to keep our defense off the field. And I'm not comfortable doing that because I think we play best when we play fast. But also I saw the mistakes we were making. And so playing fast wasn't the solution either. We were struggling a little bit there in the second half trying to figure out what was the best way to go. But as Jeremiah said, we have to clean up some of those mental mistakes. And I think the biggest part of it was, we had some fatigue issues taking place.
Coach, talk about the special teams mistakes that Richmond made. Those really seem to help you in that big second quarter.
Well, Kyle Sigler came to me, and they had jokingly, we say he's amphibious. A guy who could go either way in terms of kicking the football, right-footed or left-footed on his rugby. And so he goes, Coach, he said, he's going to go left. He said, we can get this. So we sent in the block, and he went left, and we got the block, and we got the score there. So, we did some good things, in terms of, some of those special plays. But you can just see we're not – I thought last year we had some of the best special teams we've ever had here, and we weren't there today, even though we made a big play on that. And our kickoff coverage was pretty darn good too. Missed an extra point, missed a field goal, things like that. That will come with timing. Tucker Addington had missed some time, so he's now back, and so he missed some time during practice this past week. So we really weren't very sharp in our timing in terms of our snap, our hold, and our kick. I think once we get that, I think Trey will have a pretty good season.
Coach, just talk about having the fans support.
Oh, how great was that? You go out there and, you see all the orange. And I just told the kids, I don't know if there's going to be 6,000 or 6,000. I can't tell you how many are going to show up. We'll play as guys in the parking lot. It was tough getting this game. There was a lot of ways that this game almost fell apart. And Tuesday, I was pretty sure we weren't playing. I had almost moved on to figure out we're going to be playing somebody else. In terms of playing Thursday night. Let's move to our next opponent. And all of a sudden, it's like we're going to play at Waco. And I can't even tell you how Travis Lease and Brett Arnold pulled it off because it was like we had planned this trip for months. Every meal was on time. The buses were there. We even got to take the kids out socially for a night on Wednesday night to a banquet hall where we fed them, wings and things like that, and had a great time. It just was amazing. We threw our sweatsuits along with us, and they all got heat pressed and got their numbers. It was like we never skipped a beat. So, Bobby has really given me the resources that I have a great team around me. And when I first got here, we were a work in progress with those kind of things. And this university and this administration has really made an investment. And we couldn't have done it without having those guys. Those guys did a phenomenal job. They both got game balls, which I don't give out a lot of game balls, but we gave out some today. And those two guys got them because the trip went off without a hitch. And literally, we found out in about a 12-hour period, we had to make all the arrangements from bus to hotel to practice times to where our filmers are going to be to the whole thing. It was pretty impressive.
Anything else? Just one more thing, I guess. Talk about Kyle Valletta. You said he'd be the best quarterback you guys have probably faced in the regular season, and he looked every bit part of that.
Well, I think it's a good fit what they do offensively and Kyle's skill set. I think last year he was more of just a straight drop back passer, but he's really athletic. They can get him on the edge and he can throw the ball on the run. And I told him, I said, the Senior Bowl was here today to look at Jeremiah and to look at him. And I told him, I said, we have the two of the best quarterbacks in the country right here. And I was really impressed. That's a good operation. They're going to win a lot of football games. And, that's why we're walking out here saying we just beat the number 7th ranked team in the country and by 14, and we feel we should have been beaten by, 30. And it's not a knock on them, but it's just saying that's where I think this team can be. This team can be really, really a high-level FCS team, and we're not there. We need to get a lot of those things fixed coming up here soon. Thanks, guys.